I want to start off by just closing my eyes, and I encourage you all to do the same. Just close your eyes.
I want to start
Take
off
a deep
by
breath.
just
Let me make sure I don't have any
closing
feedback
my eyes,
here.
and I encourage you all to do the same. Just close your eyes. I want to start off deep by just let me make sure I don't have any feedback here. And I encourage you all to do the same. Just close your eyes. I want to start off deep by just let me make sure I don't have any feedback here. And I encourage you all to do the same. Just close your eyes.
Let me make sure I don't have any feedback here. Let me see something. All right. That should have helped. All right. Let's start this again. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Put your fingers here at your temple. Just rotate your temples. Rotate the fingers on your temple. Deep breath in and out. 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 Now, that should have relaxed you a little bit. You know what it reminds me of? And listen, and this is what I'm going to talk about today. You know, by me placing my fingers on my temples, I remember when I was a little girl and my father, when I didn't have the answers that he wanted, if he would ask me a question, I didn't have the right answers, he would noogie me in my temples. Really, really hard. So that's a negative experience that I've experienced in my life. And so, how do you change negative experiences to positive experiences? How do you create successful outcomes from negative things? That's what we're going to talk about today. So, welcome to this broadcast. As you come in, please say hello to me. We are going to do some mind exercises that is going to help you to create success in your life, whether it's for your health, whether it's for your business, whether it's for your life. I'm going to teach you in this broadcast how to combat negative experiences and turn them into positive experiences so that you are literally creating your world. Sounds powerful? It is. It is extremely powerful. And one of the ways, let me just go back a little bit. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Danielle K. Howell. I'm an online success coach. I have been building a business online for the past almost 4 years. And every year I get an epiphany to do something different, to do something more. And, you know, I teach, mind science and things like that. Really is more personal development kind of things. Like when people buy my program or they work with me, I talk a lot about the mind and habits and things like that. So in this broadcast, I'm going to talk about how I've been able to create success in my life, in every area of my life, due to mind science and using my mind power. Because we all have this incredible system within our heads. It's incredible. It's like a machine. It is a machine. And it's called your brain. Now, your brain and your mind are two different things. You're probably like, huh? Yeah, your brain and your mind are two different things. Your brain is just there, right? It has electrical impulses. It's, your Your brain sends signals to the rest of your body. Your brain is very important, right? Without your brain, you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be able to move your hands. I wouldn't be able to move my hands. I wouldn't be able to touch my head. I wouldn't be able to think. I wouldn't be able to do any of those things without my brain. Just like I wouldn't be able to do anything without my body, right? Your body, it moves. You are not your body. Remember that, right? Remember that. You are not your body. I teach these spiritual practices as well on another channel that I have, but you're not your body, okay? A lot of us get caught up in the fact that, you know, how I look. Oh, I don't look right. I don't, you know, my eyes are not right. My hair is not right. All this stuff. But in essence, you are not your body. Your body is just here to get you from A to Z, so that you can carry out the things that you need to carry out in this physical world. Ultimately, you are spirit. You are a spirit in a human form. That's it. And the body that you have is the body that you chose to bring you through this lifetime. That's what I believe. And so when we think about your mind, right, your mind can play tricks on you. And how does your mind play tricks on you? Like I just said, me doing that exercise, right, it just reminded me of my father niggling me in my head. Now, why did that come up? Because your mind is just a compilation of your experiences. That's all it is, unfortunately. But there's more to it than that. But right now, in the state that you're in right now, you are recurring dreams and experiences and nightmares and fears and thoughts and all this stuff that you've accumulated over the years, over your lifetime, right? You probably remember bad moments. Like I just had that bad moment of memory, right? You can remember good moments, but most people remember the bad moments. Why? Because we are so addicted to fear. We're so addicted to feeling bad and unworthy and useless and all that stuff. So we identify ourselves with those things. We identify, and I used to identify myself with that, with the fact that my father used to niggle me in my head. I used to identify myself with that, and it made me feel less than. It made me feel unworthy. It made me feel, you know, like I wasn't good enough. If I didn't know the answer, I wasn't good enough. I'm going to get a punishment, right? We punish ourselves. We punish other people for treating us a certain way. So your mind can literally play tricks on you. And when it comes to living a successful life, that's where most people have a problem. We have no problem living an unsuccessful life. Like we have no problem doing that. We have no problem condemning ourselves. We have no problem telling ourselves how ugly we are, how, you know, fat we are, how whatever we are, you know, how lazy we are, how unsuccessful we are, how whatever. We have no, and saying it and finding those faults with other people, right? We have no problem with that. We have no problem finding faults with ourselves and finding faults with other people. However, we have problems finding the greatness within us, finding the greatness within other people. We look for the bad. Why is that? Why are we programmed that way? And these are the questions that I want you to take away from this live stream today. I want you to write down these questions because these are the questions that I had to ask myself. I used to live a very negative life, very negative. I used to smoke. I used to drink. I used to party. I used to do all that stuff. You know, I just was like, you know, I didn't really have any regard for people. You know, I felt like a victim. My mother died, you know, woe is me. People should, you know, they should treat me better, that kind of thing, right? Have you ever experienced that? Do you feel like, you know, you have these dark clouds hanging over you and you feel like that the world owes you something? Have you ever felt like that? I know I'm not the only one. That the world owes you something because they don't know what you've been through. You've been through hell and back, right? And they don't understand and they treat you like this and they're not listening to you and this, that, and the other. So you blame other people. You blame people. You blame yourself for having to go through this. Oh, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. And then you get bad, and let's say you get bad news from somewhere. Oh my gosh, now it gets worse, right? So you just keep reliving all of these programs. We are programmed. We are programmed to feel low, to feel down, to feel depressed. We are programmed that way. The foods that we're eating, the things that we listen to, the TV shows that we watch, the music that we listen to, all these things are programming us on a subconscious level to keep us low, depressed, feeling, unworthy. For Black people specifically, we're always hearing about slavery. Our kids are taught slavery in schools. So it's always to make us feel, inferior. For other races, there's probably other things like something that you probably hear all the time. Like, why do I always bringing that up? Like, what does that have to do with me now? Right? So these are the things that we have been taught. We've been learning all our lives. Our parents taught us this. Our teachers taught us this. You can go far, far back. You've probably been abused. You've probably been abandoned. You've probably been, lied on, cheated on. You've probably been, I don't know. I don't know everything that you've been through. I know what I've been through. And I know how I had to get past all of that. It made me be a part of bad relationships, right? I connected with other people who was like, woe is me too, so now we both sitting there, woe is me, pass the drinks, let's all just be woe is me together, because misery loves company. And the more you're miserable, let me tell you something, the more you connect with misery, the less success you're going to have in your life. You're not going to be able to manifest anything. You're not going to be able to create anything. You're going to continue that program of misery and mediocrity, and you will never create anything great, because great people focus on what? Positive things, the great things that's going to happen to them. Why do you think the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, or they just stay poor? I'm sorry, I have to tell my daughter, and I'm about to yell, and can I mute my microphone? I have to tell my daughter to turn off a pot for me. Let me just yell at her real quickly. I'm sorry. I'm actually making me boiling me some eggs to put on the side of my salad. So I had to tell my daughter no, let the eggs burn. But anyway, so why do the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? It's because the rich people have a rich consciousness. They have that rich mind power. They read books, right? They listen to audios. They have mentors. They have coaches. They hang out with other rich, successful people. Because it's in your subconscious. Why do the poor get poorer? Why do the people that live in poor neighborhoods stay there? Most of them, like 99.9% of them. Why is it such a struggle to get out the hood, right? It's such a struggle. Once you're in the hood, you stay in there for the rest of your life. You may buy a house around the corner, but you're still in the hood. Why is that? Because the poor get poorer. You feel like that's the only way that you know is what you've seen, what you've experienced your entire life. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to give you guys a lot of stories here today. And I'm going to reveal a lot of stuff about myself that I probably never revealed before, but I think it's time. I grew up very poor. I grew up, my parents were on welfare. Well, my mother was. She was on what they used to call welfare, and I think now they call it public assistance. But she was on welfare. She didn't work. My father didn't work. My father just, he was in and out of rehab. He was on drugs and in and out of jail. And all my uncles were in and out of jail. That's all I knew. My mother's side was a little better. My grandmother, she was great. We lived with my grandmother, my grandfather. They both had jobs. They owned their home. But my mother and my father, they didn't have anything. And they used to buy my clothes from it wasn't a thrift store. It was more like a wholesale store. I don't even know what it was, to be honest. And they were irregular. So these are the clothes that I used to wear. I never had the latest fashions or anything like that. I just didn't. And so I was very, my self-esteem was very low. There was a lot of, I was abused. I was always in trouble for something. It didn't matter if I did it or not. I did it. Even if I didn't do it, oh, you did it, right? And I would get beatings and, like I said, boogies in my head. But at the same time, my father, he was very, very smart. He was extremely smart. He was an extremely smart man. He even bought me a dictionary for my birthday. Like, he was extremely smart. He taught me how to play chess. He would take me to go to see chess players. And one thing that I've learned from my father, even though he had his own issues, he was a drug addict, he was an alcoholic, he was in and out of rehab and in and out of jail. One of the things that I did learn from him, once I got over the woe is me part, because ultimately I always used to see the bad in my father. I witnessed him doing drugs. I witnessed him drinking alcohol. I witnessed him with the highs and the lows. I remember him crying in the airport. One time we were taking my sister she was going away. And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm just a little kid. I'm just like, what is wrong with him? Right. but it was alcohol, it was drugs. You know, I didn't know that at the time. I just knew something was wrong with him. I knew that. Why didn't he always live with us? Why did he always live in like this halfway house kind of thing? Why, you know, why did my mother go to visit him? Why? I just, you know, I had a lot of questions, but I couldn't ask those questions as a child because I would get in trouble. I would get back smacked, right? Back in those days, you are seen and not heard as a child, right? And that's exactly how my parents treated me. I was not heard. I was not listened to. So, you know, I went into myself. I was shy. I was self-conscious, you know, the clothes that I was wearing. I never could wear pants or jeans. I had to wear skirts because at the same time, my parents were very religious for some reason, yet they were, I don't know, it was just crazy, the household that I grew up in. And so, you know, so it affected me. It affected me as a child. And I was called stupid a lot. I was called all types of names, you know. So I had a low self-image of myself, a very low self-image. And I wouldn't talk in school. I barely had any friends. Only the friends that I did have was because they would, you know, see me in the schoolyard. I had one best friend and, you know, we became best friends or whatever. But, you know, I just always stayed to myself. I would read my books. I would just stay to myself. And I was always a sickly child. I was sick. And I know that I was sick because of what was going on in my household. Now, sickness, again, is something that you manifest in your mind. It's not real. You're not sick. You may think you're sick, but the reason why you're feeling sick is because something is not aligned in you. You're not feeling like your true, authentic self, because your true, authentic self is whole, it's well, and it's pure, it's prosperous, it's abundant. There is no sickness. Sickness does not exist in the spirit world, right? If you are a spirit functioning in a human body, sickness does not exist. We bring this sickness on ourselves by the way that we think. So if we're thinking negative thoughts, if we're feeling down, low vibration, guess what happens? You attract sickness. You attract those things. So, you know, one of the things that I wanted attention. So I attracted sickness, and then I would be able to stay home. My mother would take care of me. So that was the way of kind of, you know, manipulating some attention, because all I used to get was negative attention. So even then it's negative attention, right? I had a heart murmur, I had a hole in my heart. They wanted to operate. And I mean, I was scared about that, but my mother said no, she didn't want me to have an operation on my heart, but I was always sick. I remember always being sick, taking all types of medications all the time. And I used to literally miss like 30, 40 days of school throughout the school year because I didn't want to go. I felt out of place. And I felt like an outcast because, you know, I didn't have the latest stuff. And then the things that was going on in my home, I didn't want anybody to know. So I don't know if you've experienced that, but I'm being very real and transparent with you guys, because I understand now as an adult how my mind was playing tricks on me even back then. Yes, I had abusive parents. Yes, but guess what? Maybe I thought that up. You know, we think of our realities. Everything that we put out into the universe comes back to us. So if you're thinking that, oh, my mother's so mean, and that's all I used to say, oh, they're so mean, they hate me, you know, they don't like me. I remember I used to tell them I'm going to run away. And they were like, well, if you run, go ahead. Like, I always felt like they didn't care about me, right? So those are those victim moments. Oh, woe is me, poor little me, right? Meanwhile, they had their own things going on. I wasn't thinking about them. I was thinking about myself. Right? They were unconscious. They were unconscious. The way that they behaved was the best way that they knew how to behave at the time, with what the schooling and the information and knowledge that they had. Right? But like I said, there was one thing that really that I learned from my father was how to think for myself. Think for myself. If I didn't know something, yes, he would noogie me in my head, but then he would go and tell me, go look it up. I would never get the answers from my parents. I had encyclopedias and I had a dictionary that he wrote my name on. I had to look things up for myself. And doing that really helped me a lot. Even now, like if there's something that I want to know, I'll look it up. I'll go find the answer. I'll go make sure that I don't go to sleep without knowing it. There's something in me that seeks knowledge all the time. And this is how I found out about mind power. This is how I found out about it. And it's not something that you discover. I mean, you do discover it, but it's something that we're using every day, whether you know it or not. You're using your mind power to create your circumstances, to create your outcomes. You're using it whether you know this consciously or not. I'm just trying to bring it to your awareness that this is what's happening. that you probably don't even know. You probably like, man, how did, Danielle, you don't understand. I got things going on. I could not be thinking this stuff up. I'm here to tell you that you are. You're creating your circumstances. Even if the circumstances happen outside of you, you have control over how you react to them. Because your reactions are going to create further circumstances. Does that make sense? Hopefully, I'm not looking at the chat, but I'm hoping this makes sense to you guys. Your reactions to things is going to create further circumstances. So you can either keep a circumstance good or bad, right? Whether it's good in your mind, if you think it's good, it's good. If in your mind you think it's bad, right? You can keep it that way, or you can change it by the way you feel about it. Everything that we do is created by emotion, and your emotion connects with your mind, right? Your emotion connects with your mind. And if you're in a bad state, you're going to think what? Bad thoughts, negative thoughts, unfortunate events. What's going to happen? This is going to happen. Why do you think people worry? What is worrying about? What is worrying going to do for you? Does it create something better for you when you're worrying to death? Or does it create sickness? Does it create disease? This is what you have to think about. And I know this is different, from my usual how to make money online. But like I told you, I am evolving my business. And this is something that I think people need to know, because you cannot even effectively run a business if you don't understand how your mind works, if you don't understand how your emotions work. I have people tell me, Danielle, I'm feeling depressed. I'm like, you better snap out of it, because depression is not going to help you run a business. Why are you feeling depressed? What is it? What is it? You don't like yourself, or you don't like what's going on? Tough. There's things that happens in all of our lives where we don't like things that's going on. We're not going to like everything that's going on. But guess what? You have the power to understand whether you want to keep that feeling going. Oh, I'm depressed. What is depression? Who labeled you that? Who gave you that? Who gave you that title? Who gave you that diagnosis? You're giving yourself that. We listen to these doctors. We listen to these, supposed medical professions that they really don't care about you. All they care about is the money that they're going to make. But you go to them blindly and you think they have the answers. Guess what doctors do? They practice medicine. They're practicing on you. So you have to know your own body. You have to know, all right, I got this headache. What's going on with me? Am I thinking about the wrong things? Am I, maybe I'm not focusing on what I need to be focused on. Maybe my blood pressure's high. Maybe something, right? Maybe I'm stressed out. But stress doesn't come from nowhere. Everything is related. The foods that you eat, the water that you drink, the exercises that you do or don't do. All this stuff is related. So when I say that you are creating your circumstances, you're creating your reality, yes, you are, whether you want to think that or not. And this is what I've learned through Mind Power. And I've learned how to take a step back and listen to my thoughts. Yes, you can listen to your thoughts. You can be an observer of your thoughts. So if you're in traffic and you're like, oh man, here we go. This fool up at the light, you start saying things like that. What are you doing? What are you doing? And that used to be me. What are you doing? But now I observe my thoughts. I observe what's about to come out of my mouth. And I'm like, wow. I even tell my children, watch what you say, right? I observe them. I want them to watch what they say, because every minute you are creating. Every minute you are creating. So if you think you're fat and ugly, guess what? You're going to continue to be fat and ugly. But if you think you're thin and beautiful, you can literally think yourself into being thin and beautiful. If you think you're thin and beautiful and you look at yourself in the mirror and all you see is a not thin and beautiful person, guess what? If you see yourself the way you want to see yourself, you're going to hit that gym. You're going to do the exercise every day. You're going to be like, I'll be thin and beautiful because I'm thin and beautiful. I'm thin and beautiful. I don't care what they look like right here. I'm thin and beautiful. And you keep telling yourself that. And you're like, I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna get to that gym because I'm thin and beautiful. I'm telling you, these things work. And that's why I do affirmations. I do visualizations. These things work like magic, because it is magic. You are creating the magic. You are the alchemist. You are. And if you never heard these terms before, I'm going to be having a workshop. I'm going to be having a Mind Power workshop, and there's a link in the description. Just get on my VIP list. I'm going to have a workshop, and I'm going to be teaching some really really good principles with some worksheets and all that stuff that you want to use and bring to your awareness, because it's all about awareness, guys, and it's all about practice. Today I put on my Facebook wall, practice makes, and I wanted to see what people said under it. You know, somebody said perfect. No, there's nothing as perfect. You know, that's just something else that we've been taught. Practice makes perfect. So everybody's striving for perfection. No, practice makes improvement. Improvement. Every day you practice and every day you are improving. We've been taught all these things like as if it's gold, as if it's, you know, the golden rules. But yet we're just not thinking for ourselves. We're not saying, does it make perfect? Well, I've been practicing this thing. I'm not perfect. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. Matter of fact, I'm really, really great at it, but I don't think I'm perfect. Why can't you be perfect? Because perfect is subjective. Your idea of perfect is different than my idea of perfect. So it can't be perfect. It can only be improved. And the more you practice your mind science, the more you practice how to create your own world, the more you practice your emotional mind connection, because that's really what it's about. Connecting with your mind, your body, your spirit, connecting all that stuff, aligning it properly so that you don't feel all scattered, overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough. If only things was like this. Once I get this together, then I'm going to get that together. Once I do this, then I'll be ready to. No, because guess what? It'll never be like that. You're setting yourself up for failure. Why not work on the whole being? Why not understand yourself more? Know thyself. Know who you are. Know how you react to things. Know how the outcome happens after you react. And when you're conscious, now unconscious people, they're not going to want to do this. They want to stay unconscious. They want to stay there. And they don't want to improve, most people. But for those who want to become conscious, for those who want to know how the mind works and why am I attracting all this stuff? You guys heard of the law of attraction? I'm sure you have. You attract what you are, not what you want. You attract what you are. You guys know I was in a toxic relationship for 20 years. That's a long time. But I attracted that relationship because back then I was toxic. 20 years ago, I was toxic. So I attracted what I was. And then throughout the years, I started evolving. And, light and dark can't stay in the same places too long. I started becoming aware. I started changing my habits. I started changing my mindset. I started changing who I was hanging around. I started changing my belief systems. I started changing all this stuff. And so what happens when two toxic people come together and one starts to become enlightened and aware and conscious, it goes like this. Like this person's still here and you like this. But these are the things that you must do if you want to know how to create your best life. Like I said, some of you are already probably doing it unaware. You're probably creating your best life. I know when I didn't know all this stuff, and when I look back, I'm like, wow, I was literally creating everything that I wanted. I can't think of one thing that I didn't create. I can't think of it. Even when I was unaware. But I also think about the things that I created that I didn't want, that I shouldn't have created. I did both. So imagine if you could create what you want to create because you know how to do it. You know how to do it. It's not a mystery like, oh, wow, how did that happen? No, it's not a mystery. We are energy. We are vibration. And my vibration right now, my energy is coming across to you, right? Hopefully it's good energy because I work on myself to always exude good, positive energy. But then there's people who exude negative energy. And you can tell. You can tell it different. You can feel it. You can be like, there's something about this person. I just can't put my finger on it, but I don't know about that person. Why is that? Because we all have energy. Why do you think we have to take vitamins? We are just balls of energy, guys. So if you're not eating properly, right, what you're going to have? Low energy, right? Why do you think we have to take vitamins? Why do our foods have to be vitamin and nutrient rich and abundant in that stuff? Think about that. Because we're energy. Why do we got to drink water and it turns into salt water? Salt water and nutrients and vitamins is nothing but energy. We are sparks. We are sparks here on this earth. We are sparks. But if you not eating properly, if you're not feeding your mind, and that's what happens, what you eat goes into your mind, right? If you're fueling your brain properly, where's my water, by the way? Fueling your brain properly, you are going to think differently. You're going to come across people who think differently. That's what happened to me. When I was out there smoking and drinking, none of this stuff would have resonated with me. I wouldn't have even found the people that I found that's teaching this stuff. Like, that wasn't on my radar. Do you understand what I'm saying? That wasn't on my radar. So you attract what you are. You attract how you're vibrating. You attract how your energy is coming across to other people. You attract that. And that helps to create more new experiences for yourself. I mean, it's fascinating stuff. But I want you guys to start writing down some questions like, these are the questions that I needed. Like, why am I here? What am I doing here? You ever thought about that? Like, why are you here on this earth? No, seriously, like, have you ever thought about that? Like, what am I doing here? Why do I have to put up with this, that, and the other? Have you ever thought about that? Why do I have to work this job? Why is this my sister? Or, why is this my friend? Or, well, maybe not your friend because you choose your friends, but do you ever think about that though? I know I had. I had to ask that question. I'm like, why am I here? Like, what's the use? Like, what am I here for? That's when you find your purpose. When you start asking those questions, because a lot of you are probably in business right now. You're probably in a business that you don't enjoy. You probably had a job that you don't like. You know what I mean? Like, you're probably doing things that you don't like. So I encourage you to start writing down some questions and do that little exercise, even if you don't put your hands in your head. But I think, just to stimulate your brain cells a little bit, just, do that exercise and close your eyes, write it down, because ultimately you're going to get an answer. You're going to get an answer from within. Go within. That's where all your answers are. Sometimes we tend to see, God and, I call it God, you call it the universe, whatever, outside of us. But everything we need is inside of us. We are a manifestation of God. So God is here right with you right now. You may not think so, but I know deep down inside, that's why people who are atheists and things like that, I'm just like, they'll find out that there's a God, right? They'll find out. Because God is what? A spirit. And that spirit is inside each and every one of us. We have gifts, we have talents. But the way to really, listen to God is through the mind. Have you ever had God speak to you? I have. Give me great inspirations for things. A lot of the stuff that I do in my business, even my sister, like, how do you know this stuff? I attribute some of my coaches and my mentors to that. But a lot of times I just go in within and I sit down. I'm like, all right, God, how am I going to do this? Because my coaches and my mentors are not designing my programs. They're not giving me all the answers. Like, I don't have a coach or mentor right now that I can sit down with and talk to. I talk to God. And I get these inspirational, titles and all these things like that comes out of the ethers. I know it may sound funny, it may sound silly for those of you who don't believe, but for the believers here, that's what I'm talking about. It's real. It's real. And God speaks to us in miraculous ways. Just like me here in front of you. You didn't come here by accident. You came here I believe, because God led you here. Even though you might have got an email from me, or you may saw it on Facebook, but you didn't have to come. You didn't have to watch. So this message is for those who want to know how to connect with the mind power and use your mind power to connect with your higher self, so that you can create remarkable things in your life. So you can start to see miracles in your life. If your life right now is humdrum and you feel like it's every day. I remember when I used to work a regular job. I mean, every day I felt like, especially when I used to work at the post office, I think that was my worst job ever. Every day I felt like Groundhog Day. Like, you get up, you go to work, you go put the mail on the machine, you go clock out for lunch, and you go clock back in for after lunch, and you go. It was just like so monotonous. Like I couldn't do it. But every job, you get up, you go to work, you drive to work, you go do your job, you clock out, you go back home. Like, where's the joy in that? We're here to experience joy. We're here to experience happiness. No matter what happens in our outward world, we're here to experience like great things, because that's what we're here on earth for an experience. This life is just an experience. This is just an experience. You're supposed to experience it, not get too attached to it. That's why people die, because that's inevitable, right? We cry. Oh my gosh, she's dead. My mother passed away. I didn't cry. Like, everybody kept saying, well, are you okay? You didn't cry? I mean, I don't know why I didn't cry. I just probably couldn't. I was 15 when my mother passed away. And I didn't cry. I even sang a song at her funeral. I don't know where I got the courage to do that. God, but I want to make this all about, this is not about religion or anything like that. But we are here to experience life and death and transformation. That's what we're here to experience, but not in that order. But yeah, even in that order, the death of the old person that you used to be, and to transform yourself, to experience the greatness of this world. I know there's a lot of poverty and misery, but you can still enjoy this world. You can still, maybe you're going to do your part in helping with that poverty and misery. Maybe what is it that you want to do? I think it's time for us to start thinking and digging deep about what it is that we really, truly want to do, and put aside all the fears, all the doubts, and go and do it. But the only way you're going to get rid of fear and doubt is if you use your mind the right way. That's the only way. When you start to see yourself as different, when you start to see yourself as a creator, when you start to see yourself as a manifestor, when you start to see yourself as God sees you, that's when you're going to be like, oh, I'm not afraid of anything. Because nothing in this world really matters. You'll be able to carry out all of your things that you want to do and have fun doing it. Doesn't that sound great? I know you're probably like, yeah, Danielle, sounds great, but I don't think I could do it. I'm telling you, you can. Listen, if I could leave my home, after being married for 20 years, almost 20 years, I was in a relationship for 20 years, leave a home after 20 years and start a whole new life in Florida by myself, with my children, with no support, no outside support, just on my own. If I can do this, I'm no different than you. I'm no special. I run a business online. I run multiple businesses. If I can do this, what's stopping you from doing it? And it doesn't say that you have to run a business. It doesn't say you have to leave a toxic relationship, but I did what I wanted to do. Does that make sense? Yes, I had some fear prior to that. I even had some fear in the midst of it, but my faith was stronger than my fear, because I knew that this is what I wanted. I wanted to be out of that. I wanted to live my life without feeling suppressed and oppressed and all that stuff. So I took a risk. And I think success favors those who takes risks. But if you're playing it safe all the time, you're not going to get anything special. You got to take risks in life, because that's what life is all about. It's all about experiences. It's all about traveling, seeing the world, seeing other cultures, other countries. Like my son right now, he's away. He's in Atlanta. Never been to Atlanta. He's all by himself, but he's in this international program where he's with people from Greece and Colombia and all these different places. He's learning so many different things from so many different cultures and so many different countries. That's experience. You got to experience life. And nobody wanted him to go. Nobody wanted him to go. He wanted to go, and I made it happen for him. Everybody told him that he shouldn't go. This is not good for him. He's not going to make it. I mean, he got so much negative feedback, my son, from supposed family. It was terrible. But I support every one of my children's dreams, each and every one of them. And I told my son, I'm going to make it happen. I said, I don't care what anybody says about you. If this is what you want, you continue. My son is a great boy. He's a good child. Like, I'm going to make it happen for you. He's out there doing the things that I was doing when I was 19. That's for sure. So the universe rewards you when you and I teach my children this stuff, this mind science, speaking your world into existence and watching what you say and controlling your thoughts. And I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work though, guys. It is. And it's consistent. And it's something that you have to become. It has to become a habit. It has to become a habit. You have to, because at first you're not going to believe it. I've been working on myself and my mind for years. I had to get a lot of garbage out, and there's still garbage in there. I had to literally, all the stuff from my childhood, I had to get rid of it. My father told me, and I'm going to be true. This is really transparent. My father told me I was going to grow up to be a babbling idiot. How's that for, for something for your child's future? So what do you think that does to a child? You're little. And this is what you're hearing your father say. So that's why I'm so mindful about how I speak to my children. That's another reason why I had to leave that relationship. Narcissism, verbal abuse. It wasn't just for my sake. It was for my children's sake. Because I'm strong. I can take it. But my children, I didn't want them growing up like that. I didn't want them thinking less than themselves. So these are the things that, and I don't know how your childhood was. I have friends who've been sexually abused. I have friends who've, endured a lot of things. And I watch their behaviors now, especially the sexual abuse people, the ones who I've known, some of them are really sexually, promiscuous and things like that. So it's like you become what you think you are. I know I'm not a babbling idiot. I know I'm not stupid. No matter what my parents told me. I thought it for a while. I remember one time my mother was like, why did you do that? I said, because I'm stupid. And she's like, you're not stupid. But yet you've been calling me stupid my whole life. So when I think back, when I was 15 and my mother passed away, I could have been and I wasn't angry at my mother. I wasn't sad. I was sad that she passed away. But as I became an adult, I said, wow, I guess it was for my own good that she passed away. Because if I would have grown up and continued in a household like that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here in front of you right now. I wouldn't be here. Because the amount of verbal abuse and emotional abuse and physical abuse that I endured, I wouldn't have had the confidence. So I had to get rid of all that stuff, all those limiting beliefs. I had to reprogram my mind. And it's work. I've been doing it for years. But it has allowed me and has afforded me a life that I can't even explain verbally. The things that I've experienced in my life, great things that I've experienced in my life. I've been able to literally take the reins of my own life, take charge of my own life. By being on my own since I was 15. It created a person of, I want to say excellence. Like in my eyes, I've created a life for myself that most people probably wouldn't have had the endurance to create. And I'm not saying I'm better or worse than anybody else, but most people give up. They give up. I've never had to sell my body for money. A lot of girls, when they don't have, and that's why I want to start a nonprofit organization for these types of girls that don't have a mom. When you're 15, you don't have a mother, you're going to do all kinds, you can get caught up in all types of things. I've seen it. And I thank God I've never had to go that route. I've always had a legitimate way to make money. Always. Never had to sell anything that, my body or anything like that. I thank God for that. So, and like I said, it was the use of my mind, right? Always being determined, always being not just doing what everybody else does. I don't know. I was never that person. It was always, my grandmother used to say, oh boy, what's Danielle up to now? What's she doing now? Like, I was always the one that was doing something new, something that would challenge me, something that would push me, something that would shock other people. You know, I mean, I didn't think it would shock them, but after a while, they didn't really get shocked anymore, you know, because I've always had my own mind. And I thank my father for that, for making me think independently. So I want to ask you this before I go. Ask yourself, do I think independently, or do I think like everybody else? Am I recreating the same experiences over and over and over in my life and expecting a new result? Ask yourself these questions, because you'll be surprised at how often you think the same stuff over and over again. I've done it too. I still do it sometimes. I got to stop myself. We become, I guess like my father would say, babbling idiots, but it's in our minds. You know what I'm saying? It's in your mind. You're recreating the same experience. If somebody bothered you, if somebody did something to you, you're recreating this thing over and over and over in your mind. Why? And then you're getting all upset about it. Why? Instead of just letting it go. And you're probably like, it's so hard to let it go. Yes, it is hard when you don't know how to let it go. That's why you have to train yourself. Like today, let me give you a perfect example. I got some crusty news, like, and it kind of shocked me. And I'm like, well, why didn't they tell me this when, you know, I was waiting for some kind of follow-up information to tell me what's going on, and I got nothing. So I contacted the people myself, and then they come and give me some news that I wasn't expecting. And I'm like, well, why didn't they tell me this before? You know, it's been months. Like, I've literally been waiting for something for months. And now today they tell me, but if I wouldn't have called, they wouldn't have told me. So, and it kind of got, you know, and I'm just like, and it's something that can, you know, kind of affect me. And I'm just like, okay, why didn't they tell me? Why did I have to call for this? Why didn't they send me a letter? Why didn't, you know? But I got over it. I'm like, okay. So then I had to make another phone call, and now I'm waiting for somebody to call me back to give me some information. But, and I said, I'm just going to leave it at that. And let me just, you know, continue. I could have literally been like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. That would have been me in the past. I'm going to be totally honest with you. That would have been me in the past. Like, I can't believe this. How come they didn't tell me? And I would have been, you know, just aggravated. But I was just like, you know what? Everything is working out in my favor. That's how I do things now. It's like everything's working out in my favor. I may not see it right now, but it's working out for my own good. And I just leave it. And you leave it there. Now, like I said, that takes practice, because I wouldn't have been able to do that a couple of years ago. I wouldn't have. So you're going to get experiences that come up in your life. You're going to get these things that come up that's going to throw you off center, that's going to throw you off kilter. And it's all about how you respond to it, how you react to it. Because ultimately, that's what creates your reality. Because how you feel on the inside is going to manifest on the outside. We live in two different worlds. Remember this as I leave you guys. We live in two different worlds, okay? We live in the outer world and we live in the inner world. So right now you're watching me on whatever device you're watching me on. This is the outer world, right? You're watching me. You're sitting on your couch or wherever. You're in your car, at work. I don't know where you are. But you're watching me, right? So that's your outer world. This is your outer world. And so your inner world is like, maybe you're saying, oh, wow, what she's saying is, you know, I can relate. Or maybe like, when is she going to finish? Right? This is going on. It sounds good, but I got to get back to work or whatever. So that's your inner world. That's your inner chatter, right? That's your inner chatter. So when you are mindful of these two different worlds, you can learn how to maneuver your inner world. You can learn how to maneuver it. So your inner world is what brought you here. Like I said earlier, you didn't have to come here. You didn't have to watch it. But your inner world was longing for whatever I was going to say. Or maybe you just were curious. You didn't know what I was going to talk about. And your inner world is what's keeping you here. because you're like, okay, makes sense. Or maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but you still, maybe you just like me, you're just watching it, or maybe you're bored, whatever, right? I don't know. But we are in two different worlds all the time. Our outer world, like when you're driving to work or driving home, you can literally be on autopilot, right? Don't even know how you got home because your inner world is just somewhere else. But your outer world, you're here. Your inner world is thinking, all right, I got to go home. I got to make dinner. I got to do this. I got to do that, right? All that inner chatter, that babbling idiot inside of you. I'm going to start using that. Never thought I would use those words for, something positive, but hey, it makes a good analogy. It's that inner babbling idiot that we have inside of our heads that we can't control unless you learn how to control it. Right? You gotta learn how to control it. So like I said, I'm going to be having a workshop. You can join my VIP list so that you can get updates about the workshop. And it's going to be all about mind power. It may be a 3-day workshop. I think I'm going to make a 3-day workshop. And I'm going to be talking about mind power. I'm going to give you guys some exercises to do, daily exercises. I'm going to give you guys some worksheets, some so that you can really become aware of your inner world, some inner awareness, exercises and things like that. And, because I'm here to help people raise their consciousness. I'm here to help you become successful in whatever it is that you want to do. But I know for a fact, because I've coached people all around the world. And I know, one of the things that I can't do is help people to do one thing without working on the other first. And I know that you can learn all these skills, you can learn all these strategies, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars trying to, learn Facebook and Instagram and Shopify and all this stuff, right? You can literally buy programs, you can go to seminars, you can do all this stuff. But what I know for a fact is that if you don't have your inner world right, nothing that you try to do on the outside is going to work. It's just not. It's like pushing a brick wall with your hands because this stuff is not right. The inner is not right. When you get the inner aligned properly, everything that you touch is going to turn into gold. Everything. And I kid you not. When you want to do a new program, when you want to, start your business, whatever. That's even when it goes for relationships, right? That's what I said. I was toxic 20 years ago. So what did I expect to get something that was going to be golden? A golden Casanova, Rico Suave? No, I didn't get that, right? I got somebody who was like me, toxic, wanted to fight, wanted to curse, wanted to do this stuff. Like, that's what I got. That's what I attracted. So it's the same thing. If you're not right on the inside, if you don't have your mind right, if you don't know your purpose, if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a reason for doing what you do, if it's just for money, which is, again, the outer world, you want to manifest money, you got to learn how to get your inner world right. I'm telling you, because you have to get your vibration up to the vibration of money. Maybe I'll do another video about that in another day. But as far as, creating mind power, how to use it to become successful, what you want to do, start out with some exercises every morning, right? Get up 5 minutes earlier, do this exercise, right? Close your eyes, rub your temples, and just imagine yourself and your life the way you want it to be. That's the first step. And writing down your intentions. Write down what you want. And don't be afraid to write down, crazy, magnificent, grandiose things. Don't be afraid to do that. Because I'm telling you, you can get it. How did I manifest a 6-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom house with a lake right in the front? I imagined it. I visualized it. How did I imagine living in Florida? I visualized it. Long before it even happened. I didn't know how it was going to happen. So you can create everything that you desire if you will believe it and if you feel that you deserve it. So that's the part that is tricky for people. The feelings of deserving things. You don't feel like you deserve it. You've never had it. You've never seen anybody else in your life have it. So a part of you don't feel like you deserve it. And I'm here to tell you that you do deserve it. Nobody in my family was an entrepreneur. Nobody in my family, nobody in my family did a lot of things that I've done. And I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying that to say like I'm all great. No, because I have my share of things that I want to improve as well. But like I said, you got to know that you deserve it. You deserve greatness. You deserve excellence. You deserve abundance. You deserve wealth. You deserve money. You deserve prosperity. You deserve a great relationship. You deserve all this stuff. Great relationship with your family, or a great relationship with a spouse or a husband or a boyfriend or girl. You deserve that stuff. You deserve a great relationship with your children. If you want a job, you deserve a great job. You deserve a great, prosperous, abundant business. You deserve this stuff. It's your birthright. It is your birthright to have everything that you want. But we've been blindsided. We've been led astray. We've been bamboozled into thinking that we're not enough. And I'm telling you that the foods that we're eating now is making us even worse. I'll talk about that in another video. It's making us sick and toxic so that we'll never uncover who we really, truly are in essence. Because we've been entertained to the point where we don't even seek for knowledge. So my friends, please, I beg you, if you don't do anything else, out of everything that I said here in this video, if you don't seek out knowledge for yourself, I beg you to start doing so. Don't take the world's word for it. And I mean, even on the internet, you got to be careful. Seek knowledge for yourself. I was going to say that post I put up there. Practice makes what? Perfect. No. Why do you say it's perfect? Because that's what you heard? That is perfect? That's what we've been taught? Right? We just go with the flow. Go with everybody else. No, carve out your own existence. This is your life. Carve out your own existence and do what your heart is leading you to do. Because this is your life. Yours. You're the only one that's living this life. I know you may care about mommy, daddy, cousin, uncle, but you have to live your life for you. Otherwise, you are not ever going to feel free. You're not going to feel worthy. You're not going to feel successful. You're not going to feel abundant. You are going to feel stuck. And that's the worst thing you want to do to your spirit, is make it feel stuck. Trust me, I know I've been there. I've been there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming on and watching this live. Please like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Comment below if you're watching the replay. And if you want to attend my workshop, it's going to be a 3-day Mind Power workshop, your road to creating success for yourself in your life and in your business. I don't have a date for it yet, so don't ask me. But it's going to be a very affordable workshop. It's going to be 3 days. It's going to be very affordable. Don't think hundreds of dollars or anything like that. No, it's going to be very affordable because I want everybody to be able to be a part of this. So just join my VIP list. You'll get some updates of when we're going to do this, but it's going to be great. It's going to have some exercises for you to help you get on that road to success. And if success starts where? In the mind. You have to see it and believe it before you can ever see it outside of you. You have to see it in your mind first. I don't know if you guys ever read Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading both of them right now, Think and Grow Rich and Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. So I encourage you to pick it up. Pick up those books and read them, because ultimately you can think and grow rich. You can. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've done. That's what I've created. All the things I've created, I thought about it first. I thought about it and I put it into action. And that's what we're going to be talking about on this workshop. So you can click on the VIP, the link that's in the description. We'll take you to my VIP list and you'll get some updates of when it's going to start and how you can be a part of it. Alrighty, my friends, I love you guys. Be great. Stay successful, whatever it is. Keep your eyes on the prize. You are the prize, by the way. Everything that you want is already inside of you. Everything you want is already outside of you. You just got to go out there and get it and believe that you deserve it and you can have it. All right, my friends, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.